welcome to Yo Soy.
Hello everyone.
Central Valley
Prospectors. My name is Edna Collins. I'm your host today. You're watching Yo Soy Neighborhoods Fresno. And we're going to interview these three people. They're going to tell you all about gold mining. So excuse me, I have to get out of the way a little bit. Your name is?
My name's Andy Brooks. I'm currently the president of Central Valley Prospectors.
Okay.
My name is Bob Paul. I'm vice president of Central Valley Prospectors.
And
I'm Angie Paul, and I'm Secretary of Central Valley Prospectors.
okay, a little background. All of you are from Fresno, Central California area?
Yes.
Okay, born, raised, and been here forever?
No,
No.
I was,
No.
No, we are transplants.
we're-
I'm actually transplanted from the military. I retired out of NES Lemoore. We got here in 1983.
Air Force.
Military.
Navy.
Oh, good.
Navy. So, yeah, I'm kind of I'm originally from Illinois. We're both originally from Illinois.
Oh, okay, so, well, yeah, but it's
Oh,
a
we've
good,
been here for so long
it's
now,
a
yeah.
good mix. I mean, Illinois, anyone from the central part of the United States, they kind of blend in with us in Central Valley because we're agriculture,
Yeah.
pretty much.
well, I'm a transplant from Southern California. I was born in North Hollywood. That doesn't give me a whole lot of points.
No, that's okay. My husband was born and reared in Hancock Park. So they're good people all over.
But that
and
was 60 years ago.
that was 60 years ago. Your mom and dad brought you here, huh?
Yeah, from LA, came up to Oakhurst.
Oh,
where
they
I
were
live.
they were running away from all that rat race.
Yeah, pretty much.
Uh-huh.
And back 60 years ago, it wasn't anywhere near as rat as it is now. So-
Right. They were just starting to get rid of the orange fields and the strawberry fields.
Oh yeah, we had orange orchards out back of our subdivision.
Right. Well, people don't know that. See, they only see all the buildings now. You know, West Hollywood, all those areas. It was beautiful back then. Yeah. So, and the air was clean.
Relatively speaking.
Yeah, that's before. Well, that's before the whole car thing came into being. I mean, that was a whole other process they did on purpose, which we are still paying for now. Anyway, so let's get back to. I see you have a lot of badges on your shirts. What's all that about?
Basically, these are some of our claims that we go to, and
Okay.
we also, just whatever thing we throw on there. It's,
So, real quick, give people a debrief of what a claim is.
basically, a claim can start out at 20 acres, and usually it's 20 acres per person. They can file for a claim. A claim gives you the rights. You have to file it with the state and the county. It gives you the rights to be able to dig for minerals in that area. It doesn't give you ownership of that 20 acres or how many acres you have. It gives you the mineral rights.
But the mineral rights are only given to you for a leased amount of time, right? You lease it.
We basically, every year, we have to pay our county taxes and we pay our state fees every year. As long as we maintain the area, prospect, show usage of it, we can reapply every year. We have to submit money every year to keep it up.
Now, on those particular claims, it used to be way back when I got involved with this panning, we could dynamite. Can you still do that?
No, dynamite is,
That'd be a hard rock.
that's you're going hard
I know.
rock mine, plus you're looking at a lot more permits, a lot more safety, MSHA and everybody else getting involved, mining safety and all that other stuff, getting involved in that. And you have to be a certified person to be using dynamite. Most of
Right.
ours is hard work of digging by hand.
So you're digging,
We're
like
dig-
the 49ers did, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's when this started. Kind of give people an idea, because some of the folks under 40 probably don't remember this, and we really were children also, we weren't even thought about, but in, what was it, 1845 or something like that, we heard about there's gold in them thar hills, right?
Yep.
Kind of started like that.
Sutter, 1849.
49 was.
1849,
Yeah,
yeah.
that was at Sutter's Mill. And ironically, California wasn't the first gold rush. The first gold rush was actually back east.
Georgia and Dahlonega. back
But
in there.
California had the most gold to just where you could walk out there and find it at the time. And California was also in its state of starting to build and everything else.
It wasn't a state yet.
No, not until 1850.
Right, right,
Um,
right.
What people don't understand, what came out of all this mining and gold, not only the gold, but there's a lot of inventions that came out during that time because people had to figure out how to do stuff or maintain stuff. So new inventions came out of the gold rush. A good example is people always wonder, what are those little brass buttons on your jeans that you have, on your pockets, around your pocket corners? And Levi Strauss came up with that idea. The reason why he did that was because the most easiest areas to wear pants and stuff were getting torn was in those corners. They would get hooked. So what they did is they come up with them little studs and put them in there, so now there's more strength, so that, of course, because they couldn't get clothes all the time. Also, Folgers coffee, they had to figure out some way of being able to keep coffee fresh. So they were the first ones to actually make Folgers coffee and put it in a tin can. So there's several inventions that came out of the gold rush, and it wasn't just the gold, but gold was a lot to not just California, but to the whole nation. I mean, that was it. That's what made this country, was gold.
Right,
And
right,
California was loaded with it.
Well, the thing is, when everybody started to come from back east to discover the West, other issues arose because they had to create towns,
Right,
and
right.
they were mostly fellas versus any women, and
Well, San Francisco wouldn't have existed without the gold rush.
Yeah.
right. That's where they came.
Yeah.
Well, Sutter's, let them know where Sutter's is.
Well,
located.
Sutter's Mill is just up
East of Sacramento.
in east of Sacramento and just outside Coloma, California. And the thing with Sutter, unfortunately, a lot of those people that discovered gold, especially Marshall and Sutter himself, they basically died poor. The people that made the most money overall were the merchants, because the merchants knew exactly what the miners needed, and they made sure they bought everything they could to sell to the miners. And they took, when the gold rush hit, a simple pan was going for maybe 25 cents, but when they needed it, when the gold rush hit, and they were all bought out by these merchants, they went up to $10, $15. And back
Right.
then, that's a lot of money.
A lot of
Oh,
money.
God, yeah. Was it like $1 every a week or something?
They
could
were
earn?
charging $2 just for an egg, so the merchants really made the money. And San Francisco, yeah, like you said, San Francisco got started by the gold
Because
rush.
of the gold rush.
Everybody was coming into the harbor in there, but all the gold was coming back to there. San Brennan was the one that really got San Francisco really hopping.
Well, isn't that,
built up.
weren't there just so many central locations where they could weigh it in and get the
That
cash
was
out?
Right.
meant.
Yeah, that was the main thing, was to get it, bring it in there. Plus, at the time, you had to worry about people stealing the gold.
Or killing you on the way.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, there was a lot of unfairness in that whole deal. We learned a lot. The Chinese came over, and believe it or not, the Chinese are the ones that actually came up with most of the modern ideas that we use right now. Because what we did back then is we were looking for kind of pieces like this here. Okay? And what the Chinese says, and what the Chinese were not allowed, they were prejudiced against the Chinese. So Chinese says, well, they would come over after the Americans left.
Well, the thing is that was the Fifth Dynasty. They had advertised for all of that in the newspapers. And
Right.
it got to the people in China, and they decided to come over on the ships and help. And they, of course, as we still today, we have discrimination. It
Yes.
continues.
They're the ones that came up with pounding riffles in the pan, the metal pans.
What they did is they took a metal pan originally. You see there's no riffles on here. This is the
Right.
one that was found. They beat it on a rock to make little riffles. So what happens is when you're panning out the gold, that keeps the gold at the bottom because gold is heavier. So they came up with a lot of ideas, the same thing with our other equipment. The reason why they did that is because they knew a lot of the big stuff, the real easy pickings was gone. But they knew there was a lot of other fine stuff over there, so they had to come up with ideas to get that fine up, and that's when they came up with the riffles in the pan to make it easier to
Very
get to.
observant.
They were very good, and you can see out there, if anybody ever gets a chance to go out to areas like Hornitos or out near where they used to do a lot of mining, you can see these marker walls that they put up. And what's funny, they were so perfect. Their walls were just laid with rock, just perfectly straight. You may go down the ways there and see another wall there, and if you see it all crooked and everything, that was the Irish. The Irishmen did not build real good walls.
Great walls in
Yeah,
China,
right.
right? They had lots
So
of practice.
so the Chinese were over here, and everybody came over here, and basically it started everything for the United States. And just we as our organization or club, we want to keep that history alive.
Right.
Okay, everybody
the
wants
panning and
the
the
panning,
mining,
the
the
whole
procedure.
process, the whole history behind it. How it started. There's a lot of stories. There's a lot of outlaws. All these people that are come out of the gold rush. The gold rush was so much stuff came out of there, history-wise.
A very exciting time.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And we want to keep that going with everything trying to die out with history and everything else. We want to try to keep that going.
Yeah,
We try to get to the schools and teach the kids.
Right, because you were talking about some of the retailers, Rykoff Foods, which is now Cisco Food, they originally came out of there as well. Right, but people don't know that.
No, not at all. There is so much that came out of that because everybody seems to see the bad stuff a lot of times.
That's
out of
always the bad
Yeah.
stuff.
But there has been a lot of good stuff, a lot of good people, a lot of good stories.
So now, when did you decide to create this nonprofit?
We did this, originally stood up in 2004.
Okay. And the main purpose, objective was to
Educate.
Educate and keep the
Educate.
history going.
Right.
And yeah,
Because this is a special technique. I mean, it's hard work, but
Oh, it
it
is,
does
it
pay
is.
for itself eventually.
Well, and here's the thing is what we tell new people that come into our organization. If you're coming in here thinking you're going to find enough gold to quit your day job, you're coming to the wrong place. What we hear is we teach, you get out in the wilderness. You get to go see some areas that are just beautiful. You see nature. You go out there and you go camping. Fresh air, exercise, camaraderie with a lot of people. You dig all day and then you come around a campfire at night, sit around and tell stories. That's what it's all about. And if you find gold, that's the extra. That's the plus to it.
and the amount of knowledge that exists, just in us right here, there's probably a better part of a century worth of mining knowledge that we've acquired from other people.
Yeah. Other
That's
people.
true. I
Sorry,
mean,
it's
that's
true
how
though.
we learn.
Oh, yeah.
And the amount of things that you have to know or at least have access to the knowledge to be a miner is incredible. You've got to be a hydrologist, an archaeologist, a biologist, all the things that are necessary for you to understand how that became.
Well,
Makes it easier to find.
Right, there's a system, what I understand, certain places have gold, but there are markers, and you have to learn those markers to be able to.
There's a whole lot of places I know where there isn't any gold because I've dug it.
We found a lot of those places, yeah. But gold is where you find it. That's usually the term, and it depends. Yeah, you can go any place and probably pick up and find gold, but it's how much do you find that make it worthwhile. We teach that to new members on how to do that. Some of the new members we come in with our different equipment we use, and
Well, does that mean that pretty much the gold has been filtered out? I mean,
Oh,
I
no.
was under the impression, this is the earth and it's always creating that.
no, believe it or not, gold was not created. It did not be created within Earth. Gold was created by asteroids hitting the planet at such a high speed and just bombarding the planet. That's why you see gold at different areas, because it was hit by asteroids and meteorites way back when
Really?
the beginning of time.
Well, thank you
That's
for
what the
straightening me
that's
out.
that's what the theory is. Gold was actually never really came natural from Earth itself.
Okay. So then it's not being manufactured.
No, it's done. It's
It's
pretty
gone.
much done, right.
Well-
But there's only, what is it, 10% or 15% of the
Of the
gold?
available gold has been found.
Yeah.
The rest of it is still out there.
There's about 80% still out there, yes.
Now,
Well-
some of it is a lot of it is impossible to get to.
Yeah.
It's just too deep. You're talking thousands of miles deep, but all the easy gold's been found. The stuff that when they first came out here, they could reach down and pick it up
Easy
off the
pickings,
ground,
where the term easy
literally.
pickings came from.
Oh,
But now
okay.
you've got to work at it.
Well, show us your panning, how you do that.
Well, basically, all what we're doing with panning, as I said, like the Chinese came up with these ridges here. Gold is 19.3 times heavier than most of the material. So you're going to throw your material in there, and all you're going to do is you're going to use your pan just like the waves in the ocean, shaking it back and forth, and as you're doing that, you're curving your arm up at the same time. The people are normally afraid that they're going to lose their gold. Well, gold is heavy. It's going to usually be the last, that and what we call black sand, which is iron or magnetite or hematite. It's heavy, will stay in the pan. So we teach most of the people that if you're a beginner panner, you pan into another pan. This way you don't ever have to worry about how fast you're panning. Because then if you put it in there, you go back to what you pan and repan that stuff without losing it. And then as you get better at it, you'll see that you're going to be losing less and less gold out of your first try with the pan. So the stuff that we have here, just to get involved in it as a beginner, it doesn't cost you hardly anything. You can, for $20, you can get involved with it, with a pan, a tub. And the thing of it too is that you can take it at home in your garage, your backyard, with a tub of water and constantly practice. And we usually have bags of sand and we put gold in there sometimes, or if you don't have that, you take sand and you put little BBs in there. And you practice that way to see how many, just how to learn how to keep the BBs in the pan. So panning is the first thing of all prospecting. Even if you watch all these shows on TV, big equipment, they use these monster equipments and everything else, but the thing they always come back to is right here. This is the first thing that has to be mastered, is how to use the pan.
So would you say most or the majority of the flowing lakes and whatnot around the Central California area would perhaps bring you a little bit of gold if you go?
There are probably very few bodies of water that have none in it. There are
Really?
some.
Yeah, it's just how much, like you
Yeah.
said, it's how much is in that area. The way we do it is again, we rely on history for ourselves from the past. Those prospectors that went out way back when, documented all this stuff, areas where they found gold. So that's where we go back, because with new modern equipment now, you got to realize that what they had back then was that metal pan, and that was about it, and a shovel. Now we have these fancy pans, and we have these fancy boxes, and we have metal detectors. So we have a lot better chance of finding a lot of that stuff that they've left. Now it's not easy, otherwise we'd have a lot more gold here to show. So, but it's a lot of fun. It's like trying to beat Mother Nature. It's a game almost.
Well, I have a question. Now, you provide education on this. Do they become if anybody's interested, do they become a member? And,
Sure.
Okay, so it's a membership for a year or 6
No,
months?
As long as they want. We are a nonprofit organization, so we have no dues. All we ask people to do is when they get involved with us, is to get involved with us, is to be part of the club, to volunteer to do stuff, to make the outings as groups and so on and so forth. As far as the education for the kids, I mean, at one time, we had what was the biggest class? We had 160 kids, third and fourth graders. And what we do is some of our members go there and we will set up tables of artifacts that we have found. We'll set up old stuff, set up new stuff, even teach the kids how to metal detect, how to do dowsing with the rods, how to pan, and teach them all that while they're going through their studies of California Gold Rush time.
What's that little machine you have there?
This one here?
Uh-huh.
This one here is
That's
another
a metal
type of
detector.
metal detector specifically for gold.
Oh, really?
Yes, it works on a frequency, a high frequency. Gold is attracted to frequency. The cool thing about this is,
I just got to,
Yeah. Get the bag.
what?
I don't know if this,
No, here,
that's
this-
pretty
get this
distinct.
here.
He's got one right there. Turn it.
What this will do, okay, you see, as I'm going to the gold, it goes off, okay? Now, if I had, I don't know if I pick that up. No, it won't pick that up.
Just
There's
But-
enough
That
enough
little
iron in
container
that
that
one.
you have there, how much gold value is that?
That's probably maybe $100 or so, $200. The reason why I keep this because I did this in one day when I first started. This is kind of my first gold. Like you keep
You
the
keep
first
your
dollar
dollars.
bill.
Lucky file.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. Now it won't because it's not iron. It's pan.
But steel.
Usually when you've got black sand is what we have to fight with. Black sand is iron pyrite.
Oh,
Iron. What this will do usually, it won't go off until you go away from it. So now you know,
Or
okay,
it'll
that's
go
iron.
both directions.
Instead of going like here where it goes when you go to it. So you go to the gold, you go away from the iron stuff.
so you can distinguish
Yes.
the buzzing is
Try
what you're
the
saying.
bag.
No.
The bag's got, I don't know if there's enough black sand. in
Yeah,
it, though.
so there is so much different new equipment, but like I said, we try to tell people when they join our club, look, don't go out, get on the internet, see all this equipment that's available and get, talked into buying all this equipment. You have to learn how to use this. You learn how to use the pan, you get out with the clubs, you get out with the membership, you learn how to do things.
Okay, so do you have like little event outings that you
Yes.
get together and then kind of caravan out to the sites?
Yeah, we do. In fact, we are having an outing coming up the
End of April.
end of April. End of April, it's the desert,
I'm going to the desert.
and we're planning
Which desert?
down the Mojave Desert, just south of Randsburg, right off of 395.
It's off 395, but is it
Ridgecrest.
close to Bishop or?
No, it's close to Red Mountain City.
Okay,
There you have, you got Ridgecrest and California City, we're about in the middle.
Yeah,
okay.
and we're right out in the middle of nowhere out there, which makes it really nice. And we'll bring equipment out there. Our club has a lot of equipment that we have gotten over the years, either purchased or acquired from people donating it or whatever. And we'll bring it out there, and members
can use it.
can use the equipment out there and learn, and we'll teach members how to use the
Is
equipment.
that like a weekend outing or?
Yeah, that'll be, for the outing itself will be the weekend, but people can go down there for as long as they want. Like, we're gonna go down there for probably a little over a week. We'll be down there and, setting everything up, finding out areas. But when people come in there, our biggest thing is to try to teach people that's never been down there.
Do you also advertise in Southern California area or all over California or what do you do?
No,
We post up on our website.
we do have a website, Central Valley Prospectors website. We also are advertised through a lot of the vendors, some of the local vendors and any of the other vendors. People will ask them, is there a club close to, Fresno or whatever. Also in Go Prospectors Association of America, their magazine, we're listed as one of their chartered clubs. So the word gets out mostly by word of mouth.
So I guess what the operative question, where would, say I'm 10 and I'm interested, I've seen you somewhere and learned,
At
just
school.
heard a little bit. Why do you say school?
Well, you could have seen us at one of the schools.
Yeah.
Okay, so you like to give lessons or examples or talks about this at schools?
Oh, we do. We do it till the pandemic hit us, and like I said, we did it 6 to 8 schools a year. We
What
set this whole
level?
program.
Were they elementary or
Third
high
and
school?
fourth.
Grade, yeah.
The
Okay.
fourth, yeah. They were studying California Gold
history.
Rush time during part of their curriculum. So we actually saved the schools a lot of money. They don't have to take these kids on
Field trips.
anymore. We kind of bring the field trip to
Which
them.
I think all the field trips are pretty much not done anymore
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah. Most of the kids remember, some of the older kids, and when we talk to some of the parents of these kids, oh yeah, I remember when we were in school, we went up for our field trip, we went up to Columbia and did the panning and the gold stuff and everything up there. Well, they don't really do that much. We also have several members in our organization that are docents and help out at the museums in Mariposa and
Raymond.
And Raymond.
Oh, wonderful, so they
yeah.
can give a little California
they do.
background history.
Yeah,
huh?
yeah. So we try to get out and help all the museums and Columbia, try to help out up there and stuff. And so we just want to keep this going because everything seems to be dying out. We want to pass this to the next generation so it just keeps going.
Right, I hear you. There are a lot of things like that right now.
Our believe it or not, our most interesting, the kids that really showed the most interest was the Malaga district of Fresno. And they were so excited about this because unfortunately, that's kind of the poor side of Fresno, and they don't get a lot. And when our group went down there, those kids were they just loved it.
They were like
ecstatic.
sponges.
Yeah, yeah,
Pretty much, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So maybe you get to, I know the director over there, the Kalawa, maybe go out there again.
Well, we can't.
waiting.
We're waiting on right now
I
the
know,
okay
the
with
COVID
pandemic.
thing.
Yeah.
Because we have an educational person that does our education.
coordinates
and
all that.
she coordinates it and contacts the schools, but right now we're.
And even when the kids are allowed to go back in, which we need to get done, we're not sure whether we're gonna be allowed to be with them until things
Well,
clear
how
up.
about the bigger kids?
The older kids are
I don't- Yeah, I don't know if, I don't know if we've really tried to hit the older kids as much, because I think what's really got the interest was the younger kids because of their studying that period. And that's what kind of, the school started calling us to get us to come out there and do that. Now, we have done a couple times where we've done it with the police association, where they have some of the underprivileged older kids and, you know, kids that are just in the verge of getting into too much trouble. We've actually taken a group out with us on that. We went out to LaGrange and showed them how to pan, showed them how to douse and metal detect, and showed them the old bucket dredge they have out there, and went to the museum over there in LaGrange. So like I said, our whole charter is based on education, and we don't care how old you are.
Right.
We're there to try to educate you.
We
try
don't
to
care
keep
who
going.
you are, we just want you to come out.
Yeah.
Well, this sounds like a good city college little one semester type of thing, if you could get Carol to give you a little,
It would be nice.
Audience.
You know, we're, like I said, we're not the clinical type people. I was going to take a geology class, and I says, I don't know if I'd fit really good in that class, because you have everybody in there that's all this educated, clinical, scientific stuff. I'm going to tell you what it really is, you know, and what it looks like in real person, you know.
And
so-
over the years, we've accumulated enough knowledge that we can't pass ourselves off as geologists,
Yeah.
but we can carry on a fairly good conversation.
oh no, I'm sure you can.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, really, life as you breathe, you are educating yourself. It really doesn't have to do with reading books always.
Right, right.
So, and believe me, I have a degree too. It took me a long time, but you work through, like you're saying, work through the situation and learn the ins and outs, and that helps you feed your brain to,
Oh, yeah.
to search out. I'm sure you didn't start with studying rocks until you got into this,
Oh,
right?
no, I was always interested in it, but where I got my experience was by learning from other people that were within the club. I had members that took us on and showed us how to do stuff, and then as we progressed, we kind of passed the knowledge, and we just developed more and more and more knowledge from other miners out there that have been doing it for a long time. So it's an ongoing thing. You just pass that knowledge, and by no means are we experts. There is no expert out there, because you learn something new every time
Every
you go out.
time you go out, you get
So
some
the
additional.
most of the claims that you have are like around Central California area? Are they up north and all over
We have,
the
the
California?
desert's really the farthest. we
Yeah,
have.
the desert down at Ridgecrest, outside of Ridgecrest, or Red Mountain City, is probably our furthest one south. Our furthest one north would be outside of Coulterville, Greenlee Hill, up in that area. I think that would be the
That's
farthest.
it,
That's
yeah.
it. And then we have, you know, Mariposa, outside Mariposa, and
Then in the forest by, well,
Yeah,
where
the-
the
to
creek fire
Chiquita
went
Creek.
through and took it out. so.
Oh dear.
yeah, unfortunately, that particular claim, it puts tears in our eyes when we go up there, because it was such a beautiful area. I mean, beautiful trees, and we know that we won't see those come back in our lifetime. And it's just a beautiful area, and we kept that place as clean as we could, you know, even though we were digging and stuff, we buried our holes and
And
cleaned
part
up
of-
trash.
Yeah, that's part of the problem, especially when that's a highly visited public area, and they leave a lot of trash. And that's one of the things that we always like to do, is leave it cleaner than when it came in.
Well, it's sad. I think back in the 70s we had the thing about picking up trash and wherever, and recycling and whatever happened to that? It went on the wayside, and we need to start doing, I think, Mr. Dyer is bringing that Beautify Fresno back, is
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
people clicked in that we
We need
are
to-
our worst
yeah.
own enemies by throwing things around. We gotta pick
We
up.
need to get the respect back for the land, because
Yeah, it's,
you don't have it, that's what's gonna happen.
It's irreplaceable.
and we feel that if we can get these kids in their 3rd and 4th grade when they're real young and start, because that's one of the things we tell the kids too, is you always want to pick up all your trash that you bring in there. You want to do this, you want to do that. Explain to them that, every rock out there that gets painted just because somebody wants to put their name on there, and that rock took millions of years, that formation took millions of years to form, you just defaced it. You're not going to get that back. So we're trying to teach all that to the newer generation, to pass that on.
So why don't you share with people your website and phone numbers and contact information?
Well, we've got, it's on the World Wide Web. I don't have to say www.
No.
Prospectors, Central California Prospectors.org.
.org.
Okay.
Okay, and all our phone numbers in there. We have our all our board member or point of contacts are all in there to contact anybody in there.
And where we meet every month.
And we
Facebook?
I don't do Facebook, but
Well,
there's some.
one of our members has a somewhat of a Facebook for us. He hasn't been doing much with it lately, but no, we haven't really done much of Facebook because sometimes it gets too much political in a lot of that stuff, and we're trying to stay away from a lot of that, trying to keep people
Right.
into focusing on all this positive stuff. We don't want no negative stuff.
Right.
We want to focus on this, not.
Right. Well, those are all distractions, as we well know. The fake news, right?
Yeah, and on our website we try to keep up as much as possible, and we'll have the dates of any outings. Like he was saying, we do have meetings every month. We finally just started having a meeting again.
It's been over years.
It's been
You
over
were
a
just
year.
doing the zooming thing?
We weren't even doing that. We were just, I started a newsletter, so I sent out a newsletter every month to let people know that, hey, we're still alive, this is what we're doing, and so on and so forth. Our meeting place, unfortunately, is all the way in Sanger, in Centerville. There's one of
So
our...
will you have someplace here in Fresno soon, or meet at a home?
You know what? No, because we have too many members. We couldn't do that. Centerville...
How many members do you have?
We have 180-something active members. At one time, we can have anywhere from 50 to 80 people show up to a meeting.
Cool.
Okay, so we used to have a place at, what is it, Reedley College?
Reedley College was an interim, the other one was a school.
The one at Reedley College at Clovis, I guess is where it's at. We just could not afford that anymore. They jacked the prices up double, and
Well, you
we're a
never-
nonprofit organization, and we're just
Well,
barely
that's
keeping our head
okay. I mean, really, if we get people to watch this informational live stream, hopefully that'll bring, you just need one benefactor, really.
Well,
It
that
just
too.
takes one benefactor and somebody that has great interest and wants to help promote you. So this is the start.
Yeah,
Let's
we-
look at, this is a new day in 2021. Central Valley Prospectors are on their way.
Well, the way we make our money is by our gold shows, when we host our gold shows. Like we had the last gold show here in Fresno, we hosted that one.
When was that?
That
It's
was,
almost 3 years ago.
yeah, about 3 years ago, yeah. So luckily, we made enough money out of that, it's kind of keeping our head above water right now, because we have our bills, we have to pay insurance, we have to pay our website, we have to pay our claims, you know, all that stuff has to be paid.
has.
We also have a little store that my wife and I put, you know, when we have our meetings, I sell like
buy
pans and a
peanuts.
few little things, you know, there, just basic stuff, and shirts and
And
hats,
raffles.
and we do raffles. And that's kind of what keeps that's our only money that's coming in, is right there.
Right. Well, like I said, you
Yeah.
only need one benefactor, and you never know. Maybe Carol Goldsmith will get a hold of this and ask you out to a one-shot deal, be a speaker, share California history.
Well, if you're interested, they can check us out on our website.
Yeah, our website is, Yeah, it's
Okay.
right there with all the information.
So, thank you, Bob. Thank you, Angie.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, no, this is great. This is wonderful. I mean, I never know when I go searching what nonprofit I'm going to find. There are so many wonderfully rich nonprofits here in
Yeah,
Fresno
yeah.
area.
We're not that.
Well, I don't mean rich like money-wise,
Oh,
but
just
rich.
Culturally rich.
Yeah.
Yes, and knowledge. There's so much more knowledge that people just don't know about.
We've accumulated a lot of knowledge in
Yeah.
that club.
History is a big thing. That's our big thing.
And I'm a history buff and a student of history, and so is Bob. And
I'm going to tell you what. I honestly, I hated history. When I was in school, I hated history. When I got involved in this gold stuff, and I actually can remember some of the things that were in those history books, and now here I'm in California, and I can see those things in person. It just made it more interesting. So
There's a tactical contact with
it's just,
stuff.
yeah, I just got into history so much now. There's been a couple things I've done on Joaquin Murrieta, on his background and his whole story. That was a lot of fun. I actually did. We're waiting for it to get on the Discovery Channel or the History Channel. An episode. I did an episode for them, and they still haven't shown it yet.
With call out to your audience and invite them to your next meeting. What day is it and where?
It's the third Tuesday of each month. The address is on our website, centervalleyprospectors.org, and along with all our phone numbers and contact information.
Yeah, and don't forget, the end of April, you're going on that caravan, right?
Going out to the desert,
The desert,
out in the desert in April, yes.
starting the last weekend in April. Yeah.
Okay, and then after that, you're gonna have something else?
Oh, we'll probably have
We
some more,
do
but
something every
yeah.
Oh, you do everything?
We have to, one of the things that we have to do, one of our claims that I really like, that's up above at Chiquita Creek, the one I was saying that
That's
really,
creek fire wiped out.
just creek fire, just second day, it just,
But you can still go to the street.
we don't know. We don't know the area, if the road's accessible and all that other, so we
Yes.
haven't had a chance to get up there yet, because normally we go out there, and there's a lot of our claims that we actually maintain a lot of the roads, the fire roads. We'll send a crew up there with chainsaws to help clear that, so we haven't had the opportunity to get up there yet and check
You're
it out.
doing a public service too.
And
Yeah,
force
yeah.
is currently restricted, so we're waiting for that to open up.
Well, I sure like, well, maybe you can convince the two of us somehow to go with you and go to one of your meetings and
Sure.
film.
Yeah, a meeting would be nice, sure.
Yeah, that
I'll
would
give you
be,
one of my cards.
yeah.
And,
Okay, so we appreciate you coming in today and check. Hi. I can't sit, we're supposed to be COVID, distance, so here I am.
Well, this is 6 feet, you just can't tell. It's the magic of television.
So thank you for watching. Tune in to Yo Soy Neighborhoods Fresno. We're here every Friday. If you're a nonprofit organization like these folks here, give us a call. We'll help you out. It's our community service. Thank you so much.